Hey everybody, my name's Max. Welcome to my project. Now, this project I started a few years ago to help me fix my biggest problem. And that problem started when I was a young kid. I was riding my bike across the street and I got hit by a semi truck. Now, this semi truck, what did it do to me? It just totally mangled one of my legs. I got caught under it, it dragged me down the street, and I was left with this thing. Totally mangled leg. So, yeah, everything over here, that's gone. Also, since it happened when I was a kid, it didn't grow right. So it's skinny, it's crooked, that's fun. All the joints are deformed. It's got this thing, who knows? Ankle, doesn't work. Knee, doesn't really work. Bends in the wrong direction, that's fun. Yeah, so all that stuff. And so, as you can imagine, that affects me physically, and it affected me physically. It difficult to walk, difficult to do physical activity. It's also deformed, so was super embarrassing growing up. And I, after I left the hospital, they basically told me this is you have a very uncommon injury. There's only a few people in the U.S. that have anything like what you have. There's nothing else that can be done, and there's really nothing else that will be able to be done. And so that's how I left. I spent the next couple decades just dealing with it, and frankly, the most succinct way I can describe my relationship to my leg is I hated it. I didn't want it. I didn't want it getting in the way, and so that's how I lived. And that's the bad part. Those are all the bad things. Fast forward to a few years ago, I got to the point in my life where I was tired of being unsatisfied all the time with my condition. And so I decided that I needed to do something about it. I was told that nothing could be done, but I really wanted to convince myself that nothing could be done. And so to convince myself that nothing could be done, I needed to try everything I could think of. And so that's what I've been doing. And over the last few years, I built on this workbench, designed this thing, my little exoskeleton for my leg. And with that device, I took it into the training environment and I physically trained as hard as I could to strengthen my whole body to overcome my limp, to overcome my ability not to be able to do things. And I went from a place of not running to a place of being able to run, from a place of not participating in things like going hiking, to not being able to squat with that crazy leg, to squatting 300 pounds. But more importantly, I think I went from my leg, my problem, being my biggest point of shame to my biggest point of pride. I went from a place of feeling like I was out of control with my condition to one of being in control. And it's been amazing. So, with that being said, throughout this process, I learned quite a bit about dealing with hard problems, and I wanted to communicate those things to everybody else. So I've wrote a few things on the site. I've filmed a few things to help anybody else that's dealing with a hard problem, to help them face it and ultimately solve it. So please look around. I really hope these things help you. The last thing I'll leave you with is hard problems have solutions. It doesn't matter the hard problem, there's a solution. So take a look around and get to work.